What's going on, guys? Today we're back with another basics video. Today we're going to be talking about brining chicken and in general preparing chicken breast the right way so that you don't have to hate your chicken broccoli and rice. Now, I know chicken broccoli and rice gets a ton of hate. I happen to love it because maybe it's partially because of how I prepare my chicken mostly. A lot of people think of chicken and rice as, I believe Don Mazzetti coined the phrase, eating cardboard with little bits of eraser on it. It doesn't have to be that way, and today we're going to ensure that it is not that way. So what I've got here is I've got about 5 pounds of chicken breast here. Now you can use this method mostly for oven baking, which is how I'm going to be cooking everything, just because I can throw everything on one pan. It's real easy. I go over here, bake, boom, done. Let that preheat. And I'm going to throw all these in all at one time. Now, go ahead and cancel that. When you brine everything, all this really does is the same thing salt does in your body. We're using salt to pull moisture into the muscle, aka this tissue we're going to consume, which is really kind of weird when you think about it. But so all that salt and everything is going to get into the meat, and it's going to go ahead and pull the moisture in so that when you actually bake the chicken, cook the chicken, pan sear it, whatever, all that moisture is still there, and it doesn't just all come out during cooking and you have this dry, awful, disgusting, terrible to get through disaster. So this is really easy. All we got here is we got a big bowl. We got a 1/4 cup of salt. I'm using just kosher salt. It's cheap to buy a lot of. You can use table salt. I wouldn't recommend using like sea salt because that's just more expensive. And then we're gonna go ahead and put a bunch of warm water in this bowl. And now the reason we're using warm water is simply because it'll help bring our chicken to room temperature. You don't want to cook cold chicken. You don't want to just pluck it out of the freezer or pluck it out of the fridge and throw it right on a pan. If you do that, it'll cook super uneven. The outside will be like this burned, chewy, dry, disgusting mess, and then the inside might be okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything to temperature, and we're gonna get everything in this nice salt bath here. And now it's going to sit in here for about 15 to 20 minutes. You can leave it as long as 6 hours, but I wouldn't do longer than that. And then we're gonna go ahead and season everything. So I'm gonna catch up with you guys in about 15-20 minutes. We'll see how this is looking, see how it's coming along. Alright guys, I'm back. It's been 15 minutes, it's been 18 minutes actually. We're going to pluck these suckers out of here. Now all we're going to do is we're simply going to give them a quick rinse under some cool water, just to rinse this salt on the outside off. You don't want all that extra salt. Maybe you do. You can leave it. It ain't going to hurt you. It's just going to be real salty, obviously. Like that goes without saying, right? I'm just going to take them out, give them a quick rinse. I'm just going to lay these out on here. Now be careful too when you're rinsing your chicken off in the sink. Understand that you are rinsing raw meat in your sink. So I like to turn the water on fairly low and just kind of let the water run over my hands onto the chicken, so that way it doesn't just hit the chicken and splatter chicken juice everywhere. You may not care. You may sanitize your stuff enough that it doesn't really matter, but I'd prefer not to splatter it everywhere. So again, just a quick rinse. You're not looking to scrub any of this, right? And you may notice the chicken actually feels a little bit different too. Now, of course, I'm using really cheap, crappy Walmart chicken. So I mean, in theory, step one of all this could have been like, don't use complete trash chicken breast. But not really rich. So now I've got all my chicken breast here, and we're just going to go ahead and start laying it out in the pan. First, we're going to want to season it. So I'm going to go ahead and season it with some of this delicious curry powder. I use this stuff. I talked about it in one of my other videos. I use it for a lot. I just like it. Some people will do salt and pepper on their chicken. That's fine. You can, but we just brined it. Probably don't need much more salt. Plus, I generally salt my food right before I eat it. So to put salt, to brine something, and then to put salt on it before cooking, and then put more salt on it before consuming it, becomes pretty rough. Now the one downside to this curry powder here is that it's gonna stain the crap out of my cutting boards because of the turmeric. Turmeric is potent in coloration. It's what gives it this orange color here. So your fingers, your cutting board, your knife, your pan will all be orange. But it tastes good, and turmeric's good for you. So now, heed my warning. If you're not used to eating turmeric, don't what's the opposite of a cold turkey? A hot pig? I don't know. But don't just jump right in to turmeric, because you will end up on the toilet and you will not be able to leave. Keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill up this pan. I'll put this last one on there. And I'm actually going to probably just pan cook the last 3 little pieces here for my meals today. So here we go. And we'll just get an extra little sprinkle on any areas that are light, because again, I like the seasoning. I like the stock. All right, and boom, there we go. So now, to recap, we've cut the fat, we've brined, we've seasoned or rubbed or whatever, and now we're just gonna bake. So baking it is the same way you bake any other chicken breast. This is gonna be, you could do it like 370, it'll take like 30 minutes. You can do it at 400, you want the outsides to be crispy or drier. I typically shoot for these pieces, some are a little thicker. It's probably gonna be about 25 minutes, and I'm probably gonna do right around like 380 or so. Basically, I generally use a food thermometer, so I'll just check. I put them in at like 385 or so, and then just check after about 15-20 minutes, because that's when they'll start getting close. 20 minutes is probably about golden. The other really nice way to cook chicken breast is in a slow cooker. So a slow cooker, you actually may not even have to brine anything, because the slow cooker is literally just cooking the chicken in its own juices and its own moisture the whole time. That's another fantastic way to cook chicken breast. So I'll probably have a nice slow cooker recipe for you guys. Might do some chicken burrito bowls, some tacos, fajitas, something like that. Or I'll do pulled chicken. Pulled chicken's really easy. Put the freaking chicken in there and then pull it apart. Woof, done. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you give this a shot. Buy some cheap kosher salt. Throw a 1/4 cup in some warm water with your package of chicken breast. Let it sit 15-20 minutes. Put your seasoning on it and go ahead and bake it. Oh, and rinse it. Don't forget to rinse it. Put your seasoning on it. Go ahead and bake it and enjoy some nice, moist, delicious chicken breast that isn't bits of cardboard with pieces of eraser. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you in the next one.